All right, welcome to this video. Guys, I'd say that the biggest problem that young people face is not knowing how to be independent. Okay, our whole life we're told to ask if we can go to the bathroom, right? Raise your hand. Literally, that's scary how long we go. Literally 18 years old, maybe. Or some people, even college, some classes in college will ask you to raise your hand to go, right? But our whole life, we're assigned things, guys. We're assigned our homework. We're told what to do in our free time outside of school. We follow the advice that our teachers and parents give us about what to study and pursue as a career, which it's great to get advice, right? And we're grateful for that. But by the time we actually finish school and it's time to actually start making our own decisions, we freeze, right? This is obviously at least what happened to me. But I know that a lot of other people struggle with this as well. You kind of freeze. You don't really know. School doesn't teach you how to navigate and be independent in the modern world, right? So for me, I mean, I finished college in 2021 and I lived at home for almost 3 years after that, trying to figure my stuff out before even moving out of home, right? So it wasn't until I started living with intention, and I'm going to talk about that and what that kind of means and how to tap into that. It wasn't until I started doing that things actually started to go my way. Okay, I was finally able to get jobs that I actually wanted, that helped me have the freedom that I wanted and the income potential that I wanted. I was able to travel and buy things that I wanted. Okay, I got out of college with like 50K in debt. And that was tough. And with the right skills that I'm going to talk about in this video and approach, I was able to start stacking up savings and start paying off chunks of these loans and start being independent, start paying for cars, start paying for all these things, okay? So I was also able to move across the country on my own eventually and rent my own studio apartment with a pool, a gym, even a barista coffee bar. And I broke into one of the most competitive companies in the tech space and I was making over six figures. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the things that led to me actually taking my agency back, living with intention, so that you can use these tools if you're someone who's lost after school, whether high school, college, doesn't matter, right? When you're in a stage where now it's time to be an adult, how do you do that? Okay? So that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to share the things that help me orient my mind correctly, okay, to allow me to do all of this. So if you're someone who feels like you're stuck and you don't know how, you weren't taught, and don't worry, school failed me too, but you weren't taught how to find desirable roles and make income and be independent and navigate this stuff. Okay, I'm going to talk about this in this video. All right. So first thing I want to mention, and I'm actually going to go to the screen in a bit, and I'm going to show you and walk you through literally what I would do. I mean, I was so lost. I had to ask like a neighbor in my hometown to help me like write my resume. Like I had no idea what I was doing. Okay, that's real. All right. But the first step before we get into that, I'm going to show you how to make a resume. I'm going to show you what you need to do to just put yourself up, and the mindset that you need to have to get into these jobs. Is easy, guys. When you know the right approach, it's easy to do. Okay, but the first thing before there, you need to give yourself permission to call the shots. Okay, you need to give yourself permission to call the shots. Okay, when you're an adult, when you're out of school, you've been taught, you've been following everybody else for your whole life. Okay, you've been told what to do, and so it's natural that you're waiting for other people to tell you what to do. You may unconsciously not realize this. Okay, but what's happening is you're waiting for someone to tell you to do something. Okay, and you don't know how to do something, frankly. You don't know how to get a job, right? Because college doesn't teach you that. School doesn't teach you that. Okay, this is what I'm here to help you with in this video. Um, you need to break out of this mindset. You need to give yourself, literally say, Chad, I give you permission. Okay, you can decide what you want now. Okay, even if your parents are kind of breathing down your neck or telling you to do this and that, you got to realize this is your life, and at this point, you can listen to your parents' advice, yes, but you have to filter it through your own thinking as well, because you know yourself the best. okay? And it's your job to experiment with what you feel like you want to do, okay? And it's your job to have that agency. So you need to break out of this kind of schoolboy mindset, and you need to give yourself permission. Say, hey, I'm gonna decide what my next step is, okay? And give yourself permission to do that, because you no longer need to listen to your family or your parents. Okay, you're an adult now. Now, as long as you live at their home, yeah, sure. But with the skills that I'm gonna tell you here, I'm gonna tell you how to move out. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do to actually take that step. All right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have to learn how to sell. You just have to, okay? It doesn't always mean you're going to need to get a sales job. To sell is to help people understand the value you offer, okay? You have to learn how to sell to stand out in this modern day and get anything desirable. Sales is selling your ideas to your parents. Sales is interviewing for a job, even if it's not a sales job. That's sales. You're selling yourself. You have to learn how to do that. And people are so timid when it comes to, oh, but I don't have any skills. You have to learn how to sell yourself without this. This is the biggest objection people get is, well, I don't have experience, Chad. It doesn't matter. You don't need it, okay? I've interviewed at over 10,000 employee companies, and I've landed roles with this, what I'm going to talk about, with not much experience. Okay, yeah, that wasn't my first role, but I've gotten roles literally on the first interview because I knew how to tailor myself, okay? I've had many, many jobs, guys. Okay, so let's get into branding. So let's hit the whiteboard. I'm going to move to screens, and let's get into what this looks like practically, okay? Watching this video, you're going to be able to actually make progress. I'm going to give you templates. I'm going to give you this stuff to just get you afloat, okay? So let's go there. All right, guys, we made it to the screen. So the biggest thing, guys, that you need to do if you're wanting to get a job like within the next few weeks, months, right? Brand yourself. You need to brand yourself, okay? What do I mean by that? Branding is basically who you are. It's highlighting who you are, the skills you have, right? And so this is what you need to do, and what most people don't know how to do, right? You just need to build a resume. Okay, maybe you already know how to do this, but you don't just want to build a resume, okay? And by the way, I have a link to the template if you look in the description. The second link is going to be a resume template, or one of the links. But guys, so you want to build a resume. This is your asset. This is your branding, okay? This is where on paper, and you need this for anything, by the way. This is just something that you're going to continuously build and refine as you go about your career, whatever that is, right? So the biggest thing about this too is you don't realize the skills that you have. You don't realize the skills that you have, okay? Everybody has skills. You may be having thoughts of like, oh, well, Chad, I don't have experience to do this. Or let's say you want to get a remote sales job, for example, okay? Oh, Chad, I don't have any experience. Which, by the way, I help people with this, guys. And the first link in the description is this is all a skill that I've learned. And I've paid thousands of dollars to work with managers, recruiters, mentors that have helped me understand the level of depth that I understand when it comes to finding desirable roles, right? Whatever your values are. So if you need help with this, or if you feel like you want help breaking into your first aligned job, or maybe just a better one if you're already in one, and you actually want help with this, you can book a one-on-one call with me or a mentorship in the first link in the description. That's where I help people do this, and I've helped many people do this in a very quick amount of time. So check that out if you feel like you want that kind of help, right? But so to cover resume, and you can find this template in the description, okay? What you want to do is when you can find what job you want to get, okay? I recommend everybody just get a sales job, honestly. I mean, everybody needs sales to some degree. It's going to help you out regardless of your career path. If you just need money, you can get a sales job. But if you want something else, that's fine too. What you want to do is tailor your experience to that role, okay? You can literally go and find resumes for X job and just find images of these things on Google, right? See how the bullet points are, right? And you can plug in different things based on what you have into a resume structure like this. So I give you the structure. A lot of the stuff you can fill out. If you don't have college, you can delete it. You could just put high school. I had like cashier, like this is my old resume, right? I had cashier. I mean, this, you can highlight the skills you need. Like this is a sales oriented resume. If you want to get like a marketing job, you can make a marketing oriented resume and just change the bullet points, right? But you can pull stuff out. For example, I worked at a cashier. How does that relate to sales? Oh, well, I'm speaking to like 80 plus people a day, right? What do you do in sales? You're speaking to a high volume of people a day. Okay. What else did I do? I brought in cash. I was directly selling because I was making transactions with people, right? So you can frame anything that you've done in a way that is oriented towards sales. And you can do that by looking at what sales resumes look like, or what marketing resumes look like, or whatever job you're trying to get resumes look like. See how they list the experience, and then translate that and pull your own as close as you can get with it, okay? And a trick you can do is use AI as well. I mean, you can plug in this resume for AI, say, hey, here's the structure I want. I found a couple examples of good roles. Now, like just list out your experience to AI and be like, hey, this is everything I have. How can I pull out and tailor myself to that role? Okay, this is what stands out. This is what will make you stand out over everybody else. If you can tailor your resume to the role that you actually want, okay, that's going to make you look golden. All right, and this is a skill, and I've developed it over a lot of time, and I have the brain for it. But and again, if you need help with this, that's available. But but yeah, I'm gonna make more videos on resume specific, but this is kind of just the first step you need. You need to build your resume. Okay. Next, you want to create a good LinkedIn profile. Okay, let's go to LinkedIn. This is the next thing you want to do. Why? Because everybody hangs out on LinkedIn. Okay, this is where the career world is operating, even a lot of entrepreneurs as well. And so what this is your public resume. So once you've built a draft resume, obviously you can spend like 5 to 10 minutes just sharpening up your resume each day. You don't need to go crazy on it. Just build a draft resume, get your experience out there. Even if it's, gosh, like work for my dad, like you can call these things a sales internship, or you can reorient your titles in a way that reflect what you feel like, as long as you're integrity with it, you actually did. For example, I've worked with someone who, was just taking calls at a school to kind of organize like bus routes and stuff. Okay, we rebranded him as a customer service associate, right, or a sales an appointment setter, right? You can change the titles based on the role you're trying to target. Okay, even if your title wasn't officially that. That's another big thing with the resume. But once you get that comfortable, right, and at least just a first draft, create a LinkedIn profile. This is going to be super important because whenever you apply for a job, they're going to look at your LinkedIn. It's the first thing they're going to do, okay? And you're also going to put this on your resume. But what you want to do is just have a clean photo, okay? A clean header. It doesn't really matter what it is. Just make it look clean, right? And then this is really good if you want to get this. If you can get 500 plus connections, all you have to do is just connect with people on LinkedIn. I mean, you could just search like a company, go to people, and just connect with people. Like you get a certain amount every day, but this really is like a status thing. It's kind of like when you see an influencer on Instagram and they have like the blue check. Like this is what that is for LinkedIn. Okay, it's not urgent, and I've gotten jobs without it, but if you can get this, that's a huge plus because it just shows that you're connected, like you're a valuable person, right? And then for your header, you just want to put like your most recent branding. So if you're branding yourself as like a appointment setter, just do that, right? A lot of people will do like aspiring SDR or aspiring marketing associate, or they'll put like university graduate, or they'll put like student. Guys, avoid these at all costs. I know you want to because that's your identity right now, but it doesn't help you in any way. It only hurts you. Okay, to put student or to put aspiring it just screams that you're not in that mindset. You don't identify with that thing. And when people are looking for jobs through resumes, they're going to see that you're putting like aspiring this, and they'll be like, all right, this person has never done the job. You see what I mean? And even if you haven't, that's okay, but you're shooting yourself in the foot if you're doing that. You see? You don't need to do that. And that doesn't mean you can't tell them that you're this is your first job, but but it's all about getting that interview. You want to increase your chances of just getting the interview as much as possible. And the interview is where you can shine, where you can show yourself, where you can connect with them deeply. Okay, so avoid those guys. And then, yeah, I mean, you can see my experience here. I've been at HubSpot 2 years. I'm a client director now in the remote high ticket space, basically closer, hybrid setter. And basically you want to just make it congruent, guys. You want to make your experience congruent. Okay. If you want to do like, I remember, I mean, yours isn't going to be as deep as mine, but I had some certifications that you can put, guys. I mean, you could do these free courses that you can list on your resume that just show that you're into developing. It shows that you're into your self-development, okay? So you can put this stuff, right? It just shows that these are some good ones you can do. I mean, HubSpot, Salesforce has good ones. It depends what you're targeting. Like if you're trying to go for a marketing role, you can absolutely find a marketing free marketing certifications that you can list on LinkedIn. Okay, this is good because it helps you, one, get learning in that field before you interview, and you showcase it on your resume and LinkedIn. So it just makes it show that you're like investing in yourself and you have skills. Okay, this is how to get skills when you don't have it, all right? So this is what I would do. I would find some of that. But yeah, make your resume clean, make it congruent to, make your LinkedIn clean, make it congruent to what's on your resume. And yeah, those are your two biggest assets. You got the resume and the LinkedIn profile, your public resume, okay? The resume you'll need when you apply because you're gonna send in your document internally when you apply to the application, okay? So now let's move on to, this is gonna be big, all right? I'm gonna give you guys a complete mindset switch, okay? Let me make myself bigger here for a sec. Okay. School does not teach you anything about finding or landing a job, okay? It also doesn't give you the confidence that you actually have desirable skills that jobs want, okay? And so what happens is, and what I see happen to everybody, people have major self-doubt or lack of self-belief, and it causes them to get in this mindset of, oh, I'll just take what I can get, okay? This was me. I didn't know what else to do. I just got a restaurant job. And I didn't do anything until a friend was like, hey, like, do you want to work for this company? And I was like, oh, sure. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was just taking whatever I could get, and it was a great experience, but it wasn't like aligned fully with me and I didn't enjoy it, right? And so you have to get out of this mindset of, oh, I'll just take whatever I can get. It's like a lack of self-belief. If you can take a choosing mindset, and with the skills that I'm going to share with you in a second, you're going to realize how easy it is, to take a choosing mindset and to choose a job and role that you actually want and pursue it, because nobody wants to hire the person who's just applying and in the market for a job. Okay? They want the person who's interested in them specifically, who's passionate about their company and role. You see the difference? And so if you approach things from a choosing mindset of, I want this company and I'm going to approach myself to them, that's way better. They're going to want you way more than if you just mass apply to 200 roles and see what comes in. They'll smell it on you when you get on the interview that you don't even care about them, right? This is the difference, all right? And I've done it both ways, by the way, and I've mass applied to 200 jobs in LinkedIn. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second and how to find good ones. And I've gotten roles that way, right? But they never ended up being the roles that I actually wanted. Okay, and it didn't turn out as you think, right? So when you can take a choosing mindset and choose and pursue and approach these companies in a specific way, you have so much more leverage and it's actually easier to get the role, okay? So with a few easy things, okay, so yeah, you don't want to be in the market for a job. You want to pursue jobs, okay? So with a few easy things, you can actually stand out, okay? Even if it's these... People have all these limiting beliefs of like, oh, the job market's shit. Oh, I'm not going to apply to this one. It says 100 people already applied. Guys, it's bullshit, okay? If you can approach it the right way, which I'm going to show you how to do, you'll stand out over 95% of people, okay? I'm going to show you what 90% of people don't do, okay? So the secret is to, one, take a choosing mindset. Find specific companies and roles you want to work for, okay? I'm going to show you how to do this. One is using AI, Okay. Let me pull up a fresh AI bot here. All right, just bear with me. I'm going to give you guys the tools, basically. All right, new chat. And this is low dopamine content, guys. I'm not here to try and like pull you in, right? This stuff takes patience, and you got to have patience to do this, okay? I love Claude. So the first way that you can find roles. So this is the stage we're in now, guys. We're finding roles, okay? Oh, you don't even see my screen. All right, hold on. Let's pull this down. Whoops. Okay, hold on. Yeah, here we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so Claude. So this is the first thing I would do to find roles, okay? And then we're taking a choosing mindset. And so I like to use voice to text a lot. I have this like voice to text bot here. Okay, you can download this. It's called Voicey if you want. Okay, but I speak to text. Okay, so hey, Claude. So I'm in the market for a job right now. I'm in the market for, I want to get a remote sales role in the tech space. Okay, so can you give me like 10 of the best tech sales remote companies that are good right now? Can you just give me 10 examples of remote companies in the tech space that have sales structure and sales roles potentially open right now in the tech space that I can put on my list? Okay, so this is what I would start, something like that. And then you just, AI will literally work for you. It'll go and find specific tech jobs. Not jobs, they won't always be open, but you can use this as many times as you want, and it'll give you companies. Like here we go, GitLab, Atlassian. I mean, these are some of the best, Okta, HubSpot, Salesforce, Monday.com, Apollo.io. By the way, these companies hire all the time, okay? And maybe you're like, oh, well, these are too big for me. Guys, it's not. If you can do the right approach, and again, this is what I help people with, okay? If you're looking for mentorship and guidance, the first link in the description is where I'm helping people go through this structure and helping people basically just fast track their way into an aligned role for them to help start making income. Okay, so this is one way to do it, guys. Now you can give me 10 medium-sized companies similar that are easier to break into. Okay, this is if you're very desperate. You can find easier ones to break into if you just want something like in the next couple weeks. Mid-sized companies are usually smarter to break into. Here we go. Here's some smaller level companies, right? These are still pretty big, but and you can also give it the industry you want as well, and it'll give you examples, okay? All right, so AI is a great tool that you can use, so use it. So before we get to how to actually like approach this, let's use LinkedIn to find some of these as well. So let me exit out of this. So you can honestly just come here and just search remote sales role. And it'll take you to jobs, guys. It'll take you to jobs, or you click jobs. This is LinkedIn jobs, okay? And what you can do is you can filter jobs, and this goes for any job. You can find marketing jobs. You can filter it for entry level is what I would do if this is your first role. And you can filter for whatever you want. Like, there's usually one that can help you do like remote. Let me see. Inside jobs. Oh, I already put remote, so it's not giving me that keyword. Okay, I already have the keyword for remote in there. Okay, so this is just for like if I want a remote sales role, entry level, right? There's hundreds of these, guys. You can look through here. This will tell you, I mean, you could work anywhere in the country with roles like this, okay? So here's one. It looks like an agency. You could scroll down. You could see the industry it's in, how many employees. Okay, now looks like there's maybe only 2 people on LinkedIn. Doesn't look like it's a huge company, or maybe like, I like to find solid looking companies that have team members on LinkedIn. Like this is a good one if you want to work remotely in insurance. You can look at the job description, right? company values, qualifications. I mean, look, guys, they don't even need anything from you except willingness to acquire a sales license here. In this case, with the insurance license, clean background, excellent communications. This isn't really like a tech company. I like tech companies. Let's see, what is this? But yeah, this is one avenue you can go through as well, right? You can go through LinkedIn Jobs. This is how to find jobs. Like, this is where jobs are. Okay, so what is this? 50K a year, fully remote. What kind of company is this? This is a little low for sales. Honestly, if you want to get a good remote sales role, you can find sales roles easily that will give you like 70K on target earnings, which is basically what you'll make after commissions, which you get a remote sales role. Like, usually you start as like a SDR or appointment setter, and you can make you make money every time you book a meeting, a sales meeting basically with a closer. And so I love that role. I mean, I've literally taken that role. I've made 10K months with that role alone, right? So here's a good one. Rally. Yeah, this looks good. This is definitely it's a CRM. It's a CRM. It's a tech company. Okay. This looks great. So over 100 people have applied. Oh no. No, it's fine, guys. I'm telling you. This gives you a good idea. So then you can put this on your list. I would write it down somewhere. I would have like a Google spreadsheet or a document that you're just working on, and you just put these roles, okay? You can make like a dream 10 list. Just find like 10 of the most ideal companies for you, right? And you can see if they're hiring in the way that I just showed you, or just search the company like from the AI, just search them on LinkedIn, and you could just go to jobs and see what they're hiring, right? They're hiring like 7 jobs, okay? So the next step that I would do here is I would keep the job description open for SDR in this case. This is a great entry-level role. Let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, 70K USD on target. Oh, this is just base salary alone. Yeah, you see, guys, estimated on target earnings for this can be around 100 grand. Okay, that's why I love these roles, because especially if you're entrepreneur minded, an SDR role is going to be the easiest, lowest friction thing to get. You can make amazing money, and you can learn skills that are actually going to be required in your entrepreneurship journey. Okay, so that's why I love this stuff. But okay. So what I would do here is I would write this down in a document. I would be like, okay, this role, I would link the role to a document. I would just copy the link. And I would just start getting like 10 of these. Okay, I would get 10 of these down. And okay, so I would do that, and then I would go to apply, right? So you have our resume. You have a LinkedIn profile, and this is a lengthy video, guys, but I'm giving you just raw value. I'm not here trying to optimize for the algorithm, okay? So we're good. So next step here is I would apply, okay? I would apply. Now this will take you to an application posting. I don't want to show it like too deeply here, but you click continue here, and it'll walk you through some things. It'll walk you through some simple questions just to ask like where you are or whatever. And then it'll give you an opportunity to upload your resume and your cover letter to it. And so that's the next step here, okay? So you would go to your resume, you'd finalize it, okay? You'd click file, you'd download it, you'd download a PDF, and then you'd put it there, okay? The next thing you do, and this is also linked in the description, is a cover letter, okay? Here's an example of a good cover letter template that I use. I would feed it to AI and say, hey, keep the same kind of tone and wording, but just tailor this cover letter to this company and this role. And I would make it so personalized, right? That's a little trick. And you can just make it like literally put your first and last name and then change the company name to the company name. So in this case, Rally. And then you just change this stuff to what you're trying to highlight for the role you want, okay? And I would use AI for this and just say, hey, give me the same format back, and use the same kind of tone and word, and don't add any M dashes. M dashes will make it look like it's AI. And then just highlight your experience. Like, you can even give it your resume and the cover letter and say, hey, pull whatever you need to make a good cover letter for this company specifically. Okay, that's the trick there. And then so you'd also upload a cover letter, because that's just another small way to just go above and beyond, right? And so most people stop there. I mean, most people don't even do a cover letter, but most people stop there. and they just do that to hundreds of jobs and they never get any traction. Okay? And this is the secret. 99% of people don't do this. And this is what can help you stand out on these jobs that are desirable, that have, over 100 people have already clicked apply, like, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So we're going to write down names of the people that work here. Okay? So sometimes there's a hiring manager on the posting. In this case, there's not. So you would go to the company profile, you click people, and you just search the department. So in this case, sales. You would search the department that you're hiring for or that you're wanting, and you can find people here, guys. Okay? You can find people literally on LinkedIn, and you want to find people you want to find one person who's in the role. Okay? So let's find someone who's in the role. They're not always listed, guys. Let me see here. You could try SDR. Okay, here's someone in the role. He's an account executive. So you write his name down, right? And then the other person you want to find is if they have a recruiter or a hiring manager for that team. Okay? You can reach out to this person. Head of people is another way to say recruiter. Possibly this person as well, right? It doesn't hurt to reach out to more people. Now, what do I mean reach out? Okay, this is what you're going to do. So write down names of a few people at the company because you're getting your face in there, okay? You may have heard people say like, oh, so-and-so only got that job because they know people. Okay, that's a thing. It's called networking. And you can formate your own connections to have that same dynamic take place for you by finding people and reaching out to them and connecting with them. Okay, so what does that look like? Now, I'm going to show you templates that you can use to either LinkedIn message or email these people. And you can also connect with them, by the way. If you go to their profile, you can connect with them on LinkedIn, which once you connect, you get an opportunity to be able to message each other on LinkedIn. Okay, so whether it's LinkedIn or I like a software called Hunter.io. It's a great one. You just plug in the website of the company, and it'll give you a list of names and emails for people, right? So that's a good one you can use as well to just get someone's email. But the approach here, once you apply, is to send something in, is to connect with people internally, right? Because there's a lot, if you want anything desirable, you got to stand out, okay? And this is the approach to do it. So here's like a message that I would send to a recruiter or a hiring manager, right? You'd say like, hey, I hope you're having a good week. I see you might be leading the hiring process at company, and I wanted to personally pass along my resume for the business development position you have open. And this can change for it. You could plug in whatever position, guys. I'm looking to work under a fast-growing company like yours. See, like you're telling them you want to work for them specifically instead of being like, I need a job. You know what I mean? Like it's such a different approach, guys. It makes such a difference. And I would love the opportunity to speak to you and share how my sales background could be an asset to your organization, as I'm excited about the possibility of joining the team, right? Hope to hear from you soon, right? Here, and you attach your resume, okay? So this is basically just asking for the interview directly. Okay. Now, why does it matter to reach out to someone in the role? You can't interview with them, right? What's your goal here? Your goal here is if you can connect to someone in the role and you just ask them either over email or LinkedIn, like curious, any advice you may have on getting to where you're at in terms of interviewing or just crushing it in the role there, or maybe what you like about the culture there, right? This is useful to you because one, you're going to actually learn if it's a company you want to work for. And two, you can bring it up when you do get an interview. You could bring up that you connected with someone in the role already. You know a little bit about what's going on and you heard about the culture, right? That's going to make you stand out so much, you see? And so the other thing is also because people get referral bonuses, okay? Referral bonuses, every company has this where if they refer somebody, they get paid if the person gets hired, right? So if you can connect with them and show a little bit of goodwill, and sometimes you can even book a call with these people for 10 minutes and just chat with them and say, hey, I appreciate your time. I had some questions about the role that I'm interested in. I applied and just looking to learn a little bit more about it, right? If you can connect with them, oftentimes they'll want to refer you in because they'd get a bonus if you get hired. And that helps you because it guarantees you the interview, right? So this is just two things that you can do, guys. There's so many ways that you can stand out. I literally, this is my knack when it comes to understanding every angle you can hit when it comes to getting a desired role. Okay, so again, if you guys feel like you need that help, you can work one-on-one with me to do this. First link in the description if you feel called to, guys. But this is an approach that can help you stand out scarily. Okay, like this is that choosing mindset, guys. Okay, so look, if you do this for 10, 30 roles, like I practically guarantee that you're going to start getting some traction. Okay. I've had people do this process and literally land a role with just like 10 increments of this in a matter of weeks. Okay. Because because not everybody does this, right? So obviously we made sure that the branding is right. And there's a lot that we implement and structure and make sure are good before we do that. Right. Which again, the mentorship is there for, but what happens next during this process, guys, is an interview. You'd have an interview. You'd get an interview, okay, and that'd be your last phase to getting a job, okay. And what I would do for that is, depending on the role that you're after, you can literally just look up YouTube, Google, Glassdoor, common interview questions for these companies, and you can get that down and just make a document and just get your answers down, right? Okay, it's actually not that hard. As long as you show up clean and you're presentable and you have good background, like that's already going to take you 50% of the way, okay? And if you just prepare some answers to common questions for that role, you're going to be good enough, guys, to get your first role and start making money. Now, the reason I harped on this tactical approach for landing a job is because the number one thing that you need to build independence with is cash, okay? And I'm not talking about methods of like, working in a restaurant or pizza delivery. There's nothing wrong with those things, but you want to make a solid, consistent income where you have your weekends free and you're doing a job or work that is actually interesting to you, right? That is actually accelerating your career or entrepreneurship venture, which, by the way, sales is the best thing if you want to be an entrepreneur and build a business one day, because you're learning business. You're mastering the skills of business and sales. Okay, guys, there's thousands of jobs out there. There's thousands of different jobs you can get, and people need to realize that you're now in a place after school on your own. Yes, maybe you're still at your parents', but it's up to you to expand your awareness and choose what you want. If you could just find out what you want, you have a clear path to get it, right? The how becomes clear, right? So you need to take things into your own hands and expand your awareness and question the path you've been on and question the advice that's steering you towards certain things. I mean, I've been told to pursue being a doctor or a lawyer or these things, and I've been told that and have had that pushed on me, but I had to think for myself, okay? And I'm way happier that I've gone that route, thinking for myself with my own agency, than just listening to other people, guys. And this is the biggest thing you have to do if you want independence, okay? It starts in the mind. It starts in the mind. You have to question things, okay? Once you land a pretty decent role, I mean, you can be making 50, 60, 70K a year right off the bat pretty easily in most cases, right? And that's more than enough, and with no experience, by the way. And that's more than enough to rent a car, find your own place with roommates or by yourself, right? I'm gonna make other videos on this stuff soon, guys, but I remember I was working in an office, right? This is when I had already gotten jobs, but I didn't have this mindset yet. Okay, and I had a massive desire to go remote, and I wanted to travel and be more free, and I didn't have these skills, right? I honestly worked with a mentor, and that gave me the support and self-belief I needed to pursue an opportunity that actually aligned to me. In just a matter of weeks after doing that, with the right approach, I literally was able to quit the office job, and I've never been in an office since, guys. So I'm telling you, if you can get the right foundations down, and a lot of it is what I talked to you about here. It's pretty simple, right? But if you can do that correctly, you can be in an entirely different situation and change your life in a matter of weeks to months, guys. So amazing. So guys, look, if you're not in a place to afford mentorship and you really aren't in a spot where you want to take this further, I totally get that. And I also built a free guide. I built an entire free guide into breaking into specifically a tech sales role, but a lot of that can be used for other things. And I'm actually building out community modules, course modules on landing any job, and then other specific avenues like remote high ticket sales in my community. So you can check that out. It's currently in building phase, but you can get in for a lower price now. It's going to go up as I flesh it out. So check that out. That's going to be the third link in the description. And one of the links is going to be that free guide, guys. If you want to read that document, I've had hundreds of people, I've had tens and tens of people message me personally saying this guide changed their life. Okay. But I've had hundreds of people use this guide and even I wouldn't say hundreds that I know. People have messaged me, countless people have messaged me saying that they've landed a job just on that alone. Guys, so check that out. It's free. If you can't afford mentorship and you don't want to fast track this, right? If you want to kind of be able to put those pieces together, and also check out the community as well. But otherwise, hope you enjoyed this video and got value from it. Let's crush the week. I hope to see you in another one. I'm out. Take care.